5 major challenges in transformation. But how do you maintain your digital transformation effort and ongoing transformation through a downturn? I mean, is it better to take the conservative approach and just put pause on all these projects while things return? During COVID, was it the right time to can projects, or should projects even be accelerated?
There's a couple of angles here, I suppose. Every organisation is going to have a bunch of people who didn't want to do these things in the first place. Any excuse will do to say, let's stop doing them. And the downturn is a perfect one. We've got a bit of a downturn. We shouldn't do these things. I'm not sure if those people stop eating during a downturn, but this is about the same level of necessity. You just because there's a downturn, it's probably not the time to say, oh, that's fine, I can be less competitive now. Or that's fine, I can move a lot slower now and not take advantage of things that down the track will save me money, or make me more agile. I think a downturn to some degree is the time to make sure you invest in being an organisation that can be the leader in the upturn.
Yes, it's interesting. Look, having worked with some of the major of the global tech companies, the first sign of a major downturn, the first thing they'd like to do is get rid of 10-20% of staff.
Training.
Yeah,
Training.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And the smart ones hold on to those staff or even invest, because there never hasn't been a situation where you come out of a downturn into a spike. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't have the people on the floor, those that can't take advantage of that spike, don't get their money back.
The tech industry has some wonderful history that people are quick to forget. And IBM probably answered this question during the Depression. So during the Depression, IBM as a company at the beginning of the Depression made typewriters. And what they did during the Depression was to keep making them. No one was buying them, but they kept making them, and they kept paying the people who were on their staff making typewriters. A complete opposite strategy to what you see from the big players now, the big tech companies now if there's a downturn. So what happened at the end of the Depression was the Second World War. And the US moved into that in a big way, and they needed a hell of a lot of typewriters. And IBM had a stockpile of a hell of a lot of typewriters and did incredibly well. That was a visionary company who didn't use a downturn to actually shorten their staff. They looked after all of their people, who were incredibly loyal for decades, and they positioned themselves to be, at one point, a few decades later, the richest company in the world.
Example. I mean, that's a COVID example around online food ordering. I don't know, or even good old restaurants. The amount of restaurants that couldn't function because they didn't have a basic online capability through COVID, and quickly rectified that. Our area had, I did some quick numbers here, 10 available restaurants, 2 or 3 taking the lion's share, being the tavern and the RSL and the others that would be the regular haunts. Then when COVID hit, because they didn't have the systems in place, and all of a sudden another 50, let's just say for argument's sake, 15 extra players turned up. We had food kitchens, we had everyone from online delivery, online Indian. All of a sudden it just spawned. Everyone realized that there's a great opportunity here. Coffee got really good. All of the above happened. And the ones that didn't invest, that tried to if you like, batten down the hatches, lost a lot of ground, allowed a lot of competitors in, and now come back and have matched some of those competitive, if you like, or platforms, etc., online, etc. Look, it's a small analogy, but my word, if an entire industry wanted to drop 30-40% of their revenue, that's the right way to go about it. If they were in there for the game and actually said, look, I've got a customer and I'm going to serve that customer. It doesn't worry me what's going on. It's all about the customer. Would not have been a problem in the world, but contemplating their own navel and trying to consolidate their own their cost base, if you like, was arguably one of the worst moves I've seen.
And they all probably said, I don't know that technology. One of the things that we see when people do things like suddenly sell your food through an online service is that it changes the pattern and the behaviour of the customer. Now, and you're educating that customer to actually source food a new and different way. So this problem isn't just a COVID problem for the people who didn't change, because now a lot of people will be thinking, well, when I have a Thursday night dinner where I have the family and make sure we're all together, we'll make sure we get one of those meals delivered from the local Indian. That's going to keep happening, and the fact is you've set a new pattern for the way those customers are operating. They're going to be thankful that you looked after them. They're going to have a new set of relationships that can be followed up by the new restaurants. So it's just not a temporal one-off thing. That while there was a lockdown, there was only a certain way of getting food. That's changed how those people get that food. And so those big players that didn't change, that thought, oh, I don't understand technology, that would be too difficult, I can't. I really don't care, I'll just batten down the hatches. They just didn't lose then. They're going to lose for years as a result of that missed opportunity.
It's interesting that it's both an opportunity space and a risk space of what you do during that downturn. And transformation, I guess, is one of the specific ones where you should be looking across the road to make sure, if you do want to be conservative and slow down, you better make sure every competitor's doing the same thing, and your customer will forgive you.